Welcome back. We are getting a better idea of the progress being made under the Adams administration's controversial overnight homeless outreach program on subways. It is called the Partnership Assistance for Transit Homelessness, better known as PATH.
This initiative pairs transit police with health experts and social workers who then approach those in need. AJ Burkett has been down there doing this before. The mayor asked you to come back to show exactly what the situation is. What was your take as you were down there with these officials overnight?
Well, look, the fact is it's been going on now for a while. They intensified the effort at the end of August, and according to the city numbers, they've had 5,300 contacts with people underground, and they've been able to place 1,700 of those people into services, into at least temporary housing. Now, I want to show you some video, and this is case in point. I mean, just this morning, I got on the 2 train at the Wall Street station, and this video shot literally 90 minutes ago on my iPhone, and you can see that on a crowded subway station, you've got, half the subway car is taken up with people who are sleeping. And, no, they're not committing a crime per se here, but the mayor says this is a symptom of a larger problem, several larger problems, in fact.
You said that this has been like his rallying cry, like it has become very important to him, but I love that you also said that this has also become very important to New Yorkers.
Well,
the passion they have.
Right. I think that, New Yorkers have mixed feelings about this, right? On the one hand, I think, New Yorkers feel like, wow, that's inconveniencing me. I can't get a seat on the number 2 train at Wall Street this morning. At the same time, I think that New Yorkers have a sense of compassion. And I think they feel like, there should be places for people like this to go, people who can't find housing, people who can't care for themselves. And in the introduction, Mike said, these teams that are going out, not outreach workers and nurses on their own. They're paired with transit police officers. The officers generally keep a periphery while the outreach workers work with the homeless folks, and they try to persuade them to go into a shelter and or maybe even if they need to get into a hospital. You see, I spoke to our new police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, who came out with us late last night, and she said that they intend to continue the surge of police officers into the subway system because she's convinced and the mayor's convinced that that's making people feel safer. And look, let's face it, crime in the transit system is down 6% year over year, even lower than before the pandemic. But, let's have a little bit of the conversation that I had with the mayor and the police commissioner. You came into office saying what?
Said that we can't continue to act like we don't see them and act like that it does not feed a longer-term problem.
But you know what the critics say. The critics say that he should have a right to be in a public subway system, on a public street, and he shouldn't be harassed by the city or by the police.
And the critics are so far removed from what everyday New Yorkers want. They are being philosophical, and everyday New Yorkers they're saying this should not happen.
Year-over-year crime in the transit system is down 6%.
Yeah.
But when you talk to people, they don't feel that. They don't sense that.
The mayor was very clear with me when I started this job. The priorities are bring crime down and make people feel safe. And that's what we are working on here, is making people feel safe riding the subway system.
Obviously, big problem. We all see it. You mentioned numbers. 5,600 people made contact. 1,700 were placed. Is the discrepancy there people who didn't want help, or are there not spaces for them?
No, there are spaces for them, in fact. And, people do have a right to say no. The mayor says they don't have a right to be sleeping in the subway system. So what they do is they just move on. They get out of the subway, they get out of the subway station, and then whatever else they do is up to them. They certainly have a right. Now, the problem is if they become hostile, if they appear to represent a danger to themselves or others. But clearly the mayor feels that definition needs to be a little looser, and they are applying a stricter definition to the state's involuntary commitment law. They're going where no administration has gone before.
Yeah, when you're dealing with mental health issues, it must be so nuanced. You can't just have like one size fits all.
AJ, thank you. We know much more will come on later editions of Eyewitness News, a full exclusive look at what is going on underground. AJ, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Thank you, NJ. Straight ahead, the Upper West Side is going to the dogs and horses. Hey, Kim.
I'm Kimberly Richardson in absolute heaven, surrounded by horses. We have dogs. These are some of the most treasured members of the NYPD. They're also supermodels. I'll explain coming up when we return here on Mornings at 10.